All right. So the question is, if you could have a movie turned into a live production musical, what would it be and why? And I can go first, or Milena, if you have one, we can go. But
Okay, I know I'm not a musical person at all. So, like, this is a very difficult question for me. And I know, Monica, you are a musical person. So, I want to hear your answer first, and maybe something will come to me.
okay. So I would love Xenon of the 21st Century to be turned into a music video
Okay.
because it basically has everything that it needs, or musical for it to be the perfect musical ever. Because Protozoa basically can be the center of the musical aspect. But come on, like Xenon of the 21st Century, for me, I would have loved to see that as like a live action musical. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, I recently, and this movie has like a chokehold on me right now, and I don't know why. Well, I know why. Did either of you guys, have you heard of like the new Dracula movie that just
I heard
came
about
out?
it.
Okay, so it is, I can't think of like the actor, like the main actor's name, but it was released in Europe and it wasn't officially released here. But of course, there's like ways that you can watch it. I guess like thinking about like a Dracula musical, but then again, that movie, oh my God, what is with Jason Segel, that he already has like the puppet musical with Dracula. Oh my
Oh my
God.
God, what was that called?
What is that movie?
I'm blanking.
Oh my God.
Do you need to do a quick search? A quick search?
I'm going to do a quick search really quickly.
You
Oh
just
my
said
God.
puppet, and I was just like,
Right, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Jason Segel, Dracula will come on, right? Like it'll pop up.
It has to.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
There we go.
Yes.
That is a
so
musical?
I guess that's already been done before, maybe kind of sorta. So I guess maybe I want to see a Dracula musical then.
That's incredible.
All right, Marlee, lay it on us. What do you think?
This is so tough because every single thing that came to my brain, I was like, I already wrote a musical. Oh my gosh. Have y'all ever heard of Spider-Man Light Up the Dark? It was a musical for a very short amount of time because everybody and their mother got hurt. People almost died.
Oh,
But
it was the live show, right? Yes,
the thing is
I
that
did remember hearing about that.
Visually, quite fun, stunning. I would love to see like maybe something similar to that, but like maybe like Transformers or something just so ridiculous that would just be like a really fun spectacle. And I think that would be really, really fun.
Like some of the Marvel movies, right? Like I think that would be kind of fun.
Oh, yeah, Lord. Like let's get a whole, I think that's a joke in one of the Marvel movies, like the Avengers musical. Make it real and give us funny costumes.
I think people would eat that up, to be honest. And I mean, it being owned by Disney, you might as well, right? Like, why isn't it a thing already?
That's so true. They got to get on that.
Yes, for sure.
But wasn't the Spider-Man musical like it was a very expensive one too, and it was just so short-lived and
yes. It was like a complete disaster from beginning to end. Like every aspect of it, like the costume designer like also had passed away before the musical had gone like on, so somebody else had to take over her role. Like anything that could have gone wrong with that musical absolutely did go wrong. So I know that it makes me a bad person to say let's do it again, but unfortunately I'm like, hey you guys.
Well, I think I think, well, probably maybe a movie version would be a little bit better. So then there could be a little bit more control versus like live. That can always be, there's always things that go wrong during a live show. And like you say, what can't go wrong will go wrong.
Exactly. They just need to do like a musical episode like shows used to do in the 2010s.
Yes.
For those?
Yes.
The Grey's Anatomy musical episode? Come on, I still think about that episode.
Yeah, it's very awkward. And as a nurse and a Grey's Anatomy hardcore fan, I was like what is happening? Why is this
That
happening?
one was tough. I loved the Flash Supergirl crossover musical episode. I just remember, and it might have been the Arrow too. I remember just thinking like, what is the CW doing? What are we doing?
I remember
They're
when
trying to
Riverdale
compete
like had
and-
their show like musical episodes, and I'm like, are they
Oh my
really about to
God.
make Cole Sprouse sing 17 from the Heathers right now? Like, what? And he did, and I was like, okay, like I guess get that
All
paycheck,
right.
but
I would have
Lord.
loved to have been on that set just to see it happen. Like, just
Listen.
like,
It would have to
fly
be a
on the
closed
wall.
set. I'm sure like all those actors would be like, I do not want people walking around like watching me try and do this.
well, knowing how down the rabbit hole they went with that show, like the musical episode wasn't like the cringiest thing they did. That was the weirdest thing. Like season 1, everyone's like, oh, murder mystery, this is going to be cool. By season 5, you have like Cheryl Blossom is like a witch and there's time travel and aliens and you're like, what? How did we get here?
It's like the amped up version of like when Pretty Little Liars decided to go supernatural for half a season, and then they were like, we have to stop. And Riverdale just didn't hop onto the we have to stop. They were like, what if we added more? Like made
They're
it
just
crazier.
amping each other up and be like,
Yeah.
yes, and like all right, guys. Well, should we go ahead and get started?
Yeah, let's get started. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Lap It Like It's Hot. We actually have an incredible guest with us today. So she'll introduce herself in a second. But we are going to be talking with the lovely Marlee. All things about motorsports. I'm going to geek out a little bit and talk a little bit about theater, especially musical theater, and why there isn't an IndyCar musical, because we need some IndyCar musical out there. Let's get on it. But hi, Marlee. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Do you want to introduce yourself, let everyone know who you are? How did you get into motorsport? The series that you follow, and, if there's any like major crossover with teams or drivers, all of that fun stuff.
Okay, well, I'm Marlee, or Motorsport Marlee to many. I got into motorsport in college. I think it was like my sophomore year. It would have been 2018. And it was because of John Green. I was obsessed with that man, like many back in like 2015 to 2018. And he had been releasing a book like almost as podcast episodes, like chapters. And then he ended up going on the Off Track podcast. And I, at that point, was consuming literally any content by John or Hank Green. And so I went ahead and listened, and I was like, he speaks with such passion and love, like not just for IndyCar, but for the state of Indiana, of which he is not even from. And I was like, I gotta see, like what he's doing. Like, what is this experience that he is having that I don't understand? Because I watched NASCAR as a kid with my neighbors, and I liked it enough. Like we would go over on Sundays and we'd have NASCAR and we'd have football. And I liked it, but I never really got like super, super into it. And so it's like, okay, I'm obviously missing something. Like he loves this. I'm obviously missing something. I watched a little bit of it in like 2018, kind of liked it, didn't really get it. And then I like the more that I watched it, the more that I was like, this is really good. Like this is so much fun. And then my parents, funnily enough, started getting into Formula One because they were watching the Netflix show. And so then they were like, well, have you seen this? And I was like, no, which I found out much later is kind of weird because a lot of people come from Formula One and then like get into IndyCar. So I checked that out and I was like, yeah, this is pretty sick. And kind of started watching both. And then like a year or so ago, and Celine will probably remember because she's the one that got me more into like I watched like Le Mans and stuff like that, but I didn't really care about endurance or sports cars or anything like that. She got me like pretty into IMSA, and we went to a bunch of IMSA races this year, and I'm back into NASCAR. I feel like I'm like a little bit betraying my childhood self because I would always be like, oh my gosh, I guess we can watch NASCAR as like a kid. Like I liked it, but I didn't really care that much. And now I'm like, no. So it's pretty funny. Like on Sunday, people are like, "Oh, like, are you watching football?" And I'm like, "Girl, no. It's playoffs in NASCAR. I'm busy," which is so funny because I didn't care that much as a kid. But that's sort of like my, I guess, like motorsport background. Those are like really the only ones that I watch. I know that there's so many more series. I'm trying to get into supercars. But there's just so like that's like the nice thing about motorsport. Like there is so much content to consume. Like if there's ever a day you're just like, oh, I really hope there's something on, I guarantee you that there is. And that's sort of the fun part of it. Like there is always something, even if it's something you're gonna have to learn like pretty quickly because you're like, oh, I don't know what this is. And I love that.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. And what's cool about like all these different series that are out there is that there is crossover with drivers that like they'll start in one and then they'll end in the other. And like you'll just see all these familiar faces, which is super cool. Which actually brings me to my first question is, so you talked about like how you got into IndyCar. Do you have any like favorite drivers, any current like previous favorite drivers that you like continue to follow?
I do. Okay, I'm gonna have to move my laptop because they actually sit right by me on my wall.
Hello.
Well, that looks familiar, doesn't it, Monica?
My desk at work looks exactly like that. I call it my wall of men, and people are like, "What?" And I'm like, "My wall of men." You at my office.
Yeah, and there is actually a secondary one as well. It's just hiding over there. This is the original, and then I was like, I need more, but I always keep Colton and Kyle by me. And Andretti is my favorite team. I do also really, I know. I am also somewhat partial to Ed Carpenter racing. And there's really like very few people that I don't necessarily like in some capacity. I'm also like, unfortunately, a big Penske person outside of one person in NASCAR. Like, I just really like them, and I like them in IMSA too. So I those are definitely my favorites are, well, that was a very long way of answering that question. It's Colton and Kyle.
Colton and Kyle, right?
So I guess it's just Kyle.
Right?
We don't want to talk about that. We're not ready to talk about that.
We're not ready to not see Colton for sure. But like, is that going to stop you from watching F2 then? Are you still going to follow him? I know we had said that there's a lot of series out there, but now this is going to be another something else that you can watch if you really want to follow Colton.
I know. I like looked at one of the times it started at though, and it was 3 a.m. and I was like, Colton, buddy, you're on your own. Like, yeah. I don't know if I'm waking up at 3 to watch him and a bunch of teenagers crashing into each other. Like, every time I get a clip of F2, it is the most insane clip I have ever seen. And I'm like,
it's carnage, absolute carnage. Like,
it does make me want to watch, if I'm going to be honest, because I'll see something so crazy and I'm like, oh, I gotta check this out.
Yeah.
But it does make me scared for Colton too. So I'll definitely like, if they aren't at 3 a.m., which I think was just the last one, I'll probably have to end up checking it out. Like,
yeah. Do you have the F1 TV?
I don't, but I feel like I need to get it.
It does. That significantly helps because like it has like, then you can stream and things like that, so you don't have to wake up at 3:00 in the morning. So
that is so true.
F1 TV. I think Monica, you have F1 TV too, and it like changes everything. So highly recommend if you don't. Yeah,
there's times at like 7 a.m. where I'm like at the treadmill and I'm like, oh, the F2 race is on. I'll just put it on my phone and I'll just watch them all just crash into each other or like yeet off of a curb. And I'm like, okay. So listen, if Colton can survive that and get his super license points, that's all that matters. Just survive and do your best, my guy.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
So as with IndyCar tracks, I know you had said that you went to a few in-person races. Do you have any favorite tracks that you've been to before?
Okay.
It's a
That's
hard question.
tough. I'm so biased to Indy because I live here and like the 500 is just so huge. But I really also like, I didn't go this year, but I do really like the St. Louis track a lot. The Gateway. I guess technically it's in Madison. It's not in St. Louis, but I really, really like that track. I love ovals. I prefer ovals, honestly, because I like to be able to see everything. And that's the one thing at Indy is that it's obviously a huge oval, so you can't see everything. So the short ovals, Nashville and Gateway are the two that I've been to. I love those tracks. I like Nashville a little bit less, just as a track, but I love Nashville more than St.
Interesting.
Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're the opposite, right?
I'm like, I feel like we missed something when we were there. Was it
When
were
we
we
went to
just
Gateway?
miserable people when we went? Because
listen, it was like 100 degrees. It was hot. And we drove. So we drove like that morning to the track. And we were just, it was also my best friend's first IndyCar race. And she is a lovely redhead with very fair skin. So we were like, she was just melting, like wilting.
we were trying
like
to protect her as much. Yeah.
So we didn't, and we were like, oh my God, like we're in these cooling buses. But the track itself, we're like, okay, the racing is fun. But you know, East St. Louis, maybe not the best, compared to Nashville. I'm like, okay, there's a little bit more fun, safer things to do in Nashville than maybe in East St. Louis. So,
yes.
For sure. They do also, I will say, St. Louis, I don't know if they had it this year, but last year they had in the paddock the most lovely couches to lounge on. And they had food and water and drinks in the paddock, which is not something that they have in Nashville. And so for that alone, we ranked it pretty high last year because we were like, wow, what a treat.
yeah,
It had like,
where was our water?
patio
Yeah,
furniture.
I'm like we did not have that experience at all. I think
Really?
we missed it. Yeah, no, we had it was a rough one for us.
I am so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's fine.
But like that's the thing. Like we keep hearing all these great things about it, and I'm just like every time I hear something, I'm like, Monica, what did we miss? Like
Are we the
did
problem?
not. We are the problem, I think.
No, they must have been bad this year. I trust y'all completely. So I'm like, no, they did it wrong this year. Somebody else is in charge of the track now.
Yeah.
Or like,
We'll just blame it on the promotion side. It's fine.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Man, but if you do love ovals, the Milwaukee oval, like it is chef's kiss. Definitely put it on your list.
100%.
I've got to get to there. I thought about trying to go this year, but it's just so close to Nashville that I was like, oh, I just can't like convince myself to do both. And I knew I was going to do Nashville. So I was like, sorry, Milwaukee.
Yeah. Next time. You definitely have to put it on your list in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we're going to shift gears just a little bit. So, as someone who is studying and getting a degree in sports journalism, right? Why did you make that change from your original degree in college? And, what are some like moments where you're like, okay, this is why I'm doing this. And this is going to be awesome once I graduate with my degree.
It's interesting because it is so different. And also like, we actually just got told off in my last class because very clearly none of us had done the reading. And my teacher was like, y'all, this is like a grad program. Like, what is wrong with you? And I had been at work and I was like, okay, like I work at a salon. I was like, I can't like pull up, like, I'm not pulling up these terrible, like very detailed, we had like a bit of a dark subject today. I was like, I'm not pulling that up at the salon. This is a chill place. And so, but it is such a different vibe because my undergrad degree is in theater. And making the jump to journalism was really crazy because we do have like those things in theater where like obviously you have to be serious depending on like the content matter, but it is more of like a fun more, it's creative in a different way. Whereas like a lot of the time when we're doing stuff in class for journalism, especially like sports journalism, it's a little bit more serious. Like it's not as playful, which was like a new experience for me because I unfortunately am full of whimsy. And so like that was really tough. That was tough for me. Like I was like, I don't really want to be serious right now. But it's super, super fun. And I feel like I've learned a lot. Like for one, I'm really shy. I'm like nervous and I often, especially around people. And in journalism, that's a tough thing to be because you have to go in and you have to ask questions and you have to know what to ask to get the best response. So you also have to know the people and how they're going to react to whatever question you're saying. And that was a really big learning curve for me because I felt like I don't really like understand how to ask these questions. I don't really know how to read people. And so the first several events that I covered, I felt like I didn't know I didn't have fun. And it wasn't until I went to the Final Four in Tampa that I kind of like got it a little bit more. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that it was all young women that I was asking questions to. And they relate to me on that level of like, okay, this isn't like I'm asking you, you know, like girl to girl. And I'm not going to write anything bad about you. And you know, I'm not going to write anything bad about you. So there's like a level of like that kind of trust that I was not having, especially with like the men. And because they just looked at me and like, I think saw like a little girl and like me and the other girl, we were the only two women in one of the men's locker room. And like, they were a little bit disrespectful and it was like really scary. And so it was such a different experience with like being in that locker room and like feeling like they were validating my questions and like were actually giving me the answers that I wanted and like giving me something that I could work with and like write about. And getting that experience first before I ever went to like a media room for motorsport, I think was really important because it was all people that I knew, but I wasn't like, I hadn't known them for years. Like it was new to me. Like I knew who they were and I really respected them. Like Paige Beckers is a great example. I love her now. But when I was asking her questions, I didn't really know who she was other than I knew she was going to be the number one WNBA draft pick. That was the only thing I knew about her. So like, I didn't really like care in that sense of like, oh my gosh, I'm speaking to Paige Beckers. I was more just like, okay, I need to ask Paige Beckers a question. Whereas like going into motorsports, like I kind of am a little bit like, oh my gosh, like that's Joseph Newgarden. And he's a 2-time Indy 500 winner. And I have to be normal now. And that's tough. Like, I'm like, I don't know how to be normal around you. And so I'm really glad that I had all of that stuff in like April and March before it came to May, because I don't know. I think I would have been too shy. I don't think I could have really looked any of them in the eye. I think I would have just been like, hello. Yes. Thank you for like, I don't think I could have done it. So I'm really grateful for that. And, the opportunities that the program has given me, but I'm definitely like, that's definitely the thing that I'm most grateful for, because that's definitely not a skill that I have possessed or would ever have possessed had it not been like taught, but also like forced upon me. Like I didn't have any option but to get thrown in the gauntlet and figure it out.
Yeah. And it's sometimes that's the best thing to do is just jump feet first and learn from your mistakes, right? And then see the sports world really in a raw way of like, oh, it's not just the glitz and the glam and what they put out there, like the behind the scenes. It can be scary. It can be, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be in here, right? And it could be very, you could think to yourself, oh my God, should I be doing this? And then you have these moments when you meet these people and you learn, oh yeah, I should be in the room. I got this, right? So
yeah, definitely. Well, and there are things like, Monica and I always have this talk about like we have our work voice and then we have like our normal personalities. Both of us are like horrible introverts, like in the real world. Like if we need to recharge our batteries like after social events and stuff like that. But like I'm a nurse. And I know Monica works in HR, so we do have to do like these presentations and talk to a whole lot of people. And like even my husband, and I also teach as well. So like I'll talk to like a huge lecture hall sometimes of nursing students. And sometimes my husband's like, who are you? How did that happen? So you do sometimes like advice for like from us, from like who were a little bit older than you are going to have your work voice and your work personality. But it's okay to separate yourself and have that, your actual personality. Yeah. And, as time goes on and things like that, I'm sure you'll develop it. But yes. Do you think like you've gotten that voice yet, or you're working on it right now?
I think I'm working on it because I also spent so long doing like customer service, and I answer the phones and stuff like that.
I was gonna say, you work at a salon, so you got to turn it on sometimes, right?
I have yes, and I worked like front desk at other places too, like in administration roles and stuff like that, and you call a lot of people. And so my voice for that, especially with like the clientele that come in, I think I kind of use like a sweet voice, which doesn't really work with sports because
yes,
it won't.
A room full of men, you're gonna get trampled on for sure.
And because they like obviously they think that, I mean, it depends on the person, but like people will maybe think that don't know what I'm talking about because I'm being soft-spoken, or I'm like being too sweet, or the opposite of that I've also gotten. I look quite young. People perceive me as quite young when I use a sweet voice. I'm like, hi, is it okay if I ask you a question? They start handling me with like kid gloves, where they're like, of course you can ask me a question. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, they think I'm like 16 and here I'm with like my high school paper. Like, it's so embarrassing. And then like it happened to me, and I was with my professor who was like working as my editor one time, and it was the football coach for Texas, and I was the only person he addressed by name, and like Pam was like trying not to laugh, but it's because he thought that I was like a high schooler with like my teacher. Like he thought that I was a child, and he was being so sweet with me, but it was just very clear that he was like, this is a kid and I need to like respond to her.
Right? Yeah.
So I need to maybe like firm up my voice a little bit.
Yeah. No, I could definitely see that.
Can I ask you a question really quick?
Right. I guess it's like, just like working on being direct. And again, it's just like a trial and error. Every single event is going to be different. So you just have to, that being that assertive, that a voice and things like that, and not just be so cute. But sometimes, like you said, it worked in that situation that he actually was listening to you and addressed you by name. So
it was, if Pam hadn't been with me, he probably would have been like, I'm confused. But he saw who was her with me, and he was definitely like, "Aw, a student."
Yeah.
Like, it was sweet. It's really, really
take
sweet.
it as like a different role though. Like you can turn into your theater mode and be like, this is when I go and I talk to this person, this is how I'm doing it as a role, the next role. So that way, if you want to be like more sturdy, you're like, all right, so this is the role I'm taking on today. And you can use that, your degree and your passion there towards your advantage too.
It's the way I've literally never thought about doing that. You're right. Cause it is kind of a performance. It's like a bit of an act.
For sure.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, like I said, we like if you saw me and Monica in our true form, you'd be like, that's not you guys. Like we definitely turn it on. And
I don't even like asking people for help in like like at Target to ask where things are. But then at work, I'm just like, boom, 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 boom. Here's my presentation. I'm in the boardroom, and then I'm in Target, and I'm like, no, Jimmy, you asked where the toothpaste is, and he's like, who are you?
Or even like getting pictures with some of these drivers. Oh, yeah. I know Monica's incredibly shy. We're like, there are times where I don't want to do it, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to run and do it, but I have to hype myself up. But Monica, she doesn't have the hype. I don't think. No,
I'm like, Milena, go ask.
She freezes. Milena, do this. Go ask for this. Go do this.
I can't like. Anytime I've made I think every time except for the most recent picture I took with someone, I have absolutely made someone else ask for me every single time. Selena and I argued one time. Logan Sargent was walking by us at the Watkins Glen IMSA race, and she was like, you ask. I was like, you ask. She was like, you ask. We were like nose to nose being like, you ask, you ask, you ask. And then I looked at Selena and I like shook my head no, and she goes, I'm like, you take a picture
That's
I was
Milena.
like,
That's
I'm
100%
sorry.
Milena.
Do you know I pushed my way to the front to get a picture with Mario Andretti?
Really?
Pushed my way. Like, I am doing this. And like, I had like, my husband was not by me. Like, he was like scared stiff. Monica was like all the way on the other side. And I'm like, you know what? This is my chance. I'm doing it. And I did it. So.
I love that.
God.
I have some photos with drivers now because you're in them with me. But I did ask Townsend Bell
I
for a
drag you
photo.
in the pictures with me. Yes.
Yeah, I have one just by myself with T-Bell because he's not a driver. So, of course,
T-Bell.
you know, it's easier to get a photo. I was like, he's my gateway to ask.
I had to hype you up for that one too. Do you remember? Like you were like, I have a bracelet for him, and I'm like, well, go give it to him, and like he was right there.
It's fine.
So,
it's okay.
It's cool.
They're just human
No
beings,
worries.
but you know,
They
I
really
can't
are.
do it. So
Yeah, they are.
I can't. I make Selena Gracie. I can't.
yeah, I feel you.
They're good at it though. They're good. Like I saw them like do some interviews and stuff like that. I feel like they're pretty.
They're so good at, and they're so good at like talking to them too. Like that, like somebody can ask me a direct question. Jack Aitken on the 31 Wheelin', he asked me like literally a question, looked me in the eyeballs, and I literally went, and then Celine answered from like behind me, I think. And then I was like, because he was asking like where I got my hat, and I was like, it's a kid's hat, and he was like, that's not answering the question.
That was not my question.
Not the question. So it was like, she got a Daytona. And I was like, it's the the kid's hat, and they don't, and it's blue. And he was like, very nice. It is blue.
Like, oh,
well, you're not alone.
Time.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
My
All right.
goodness.
So let's go ahead. Let's talk about the 2025 season. So you talked about going to some in-person races. Which races did you attend in person this year?
Okay, so I went to the road course, the 500, Mid-Ohio, and then Nashville. They were super fun.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Overall experience, what was your favorite out of those four?
Oh, that's such a good question. I will say this is the first year that I've gone to IndyCar and gone with media instead of as a fan. And I went to all the races to cover them. And so I think, honestly, my favorite, just because it was the first time I'd done it and it is the biggest, I think it had to be the 500. It was just like the whole month, honestly, the whole month of May, especially like now living in Indy, it's unlike anything I have ever seen or experienced before. Like every day driving to the track, every single house has a flag and like checkered flags lining their lawn and like all of this stuff. Like it's not just IMS, like it really is the whole entire city all the way out to like where I live in Carmel. Like it's everyone, and it's so universal. You can ask almost any person you see on the street, you can be at the 500 and they're going to say yes. And it's so different being here than watching it at home, which is what I've always done in the past. And so I think that for me, that had to have been like the best, because it's not something I ever thought that I would experience. And it was really truly like such a treat. And I don't know, I'll still look back on it now and it kind of doesn't feel real that I got to be there, that opportunity was given to me, because it's not something that I ever expected to be given to me. I thought maybe one day I'd, go, but to do any of the things that I did, to talk to any of the people that I got to talk to see all of the victory circle stuff, to talk to Alex after, like, it's such like a almost out of body experience. And like, I honestly feel like I was astral projecting, because I felt like I was blacking out, because it was just like so awesome.
Yeah.
And to see all of like even like the journalists that are like really important, and like I have so much respect for, like Nathan Brown's the local one from the Indy Star, and I have been following his tweet notifications get sent to my phone, and I trust him like so much. But to be in like, he was, just like a few rows ahead of me, like writing his story, and it's just like, this isn't anywhere that I ever expected to be. And so I think for me, like that truly was like the most magical morning. Like I know that they say it's like Christmas in Indy is the 500, and May 25th felt like Christmas to me. Like it truly was just like so special.
That's awesome. Yeah. This was the first year that I went as well to the 500, and it was, we went to the road course a few years ago, which was fun, but like it's nowhere near like the experience of the 500. Yeah, and just it's the entire state just like embraces this event. You know, everyone, the city shuts down, like they, you know, especially around in Speedway, that they just, people park on their lawns, and they just, it's a one big party for the entire, pretty much like you said, pretty much the month of May. Yeah, it was pretty magical. I definitely agree.
Minus the traffic. That's the only thing I hate about the 500.
Traffic.
Yeah, and getting out of there is the worst part.
Getting out of there. I mean, and for us, it's a good 3.5 hour drive from Chicago. So it was, you know, it's not easy to get to, but it's manageable. But, you know, yeah. Do you have, I'm sorry, I have one more question. I apologize. Do you have any like top race moments of 2025 that you've seen, either like in person or I guess in general?
I think my top race moment wasn't in person, because I think that it was Christian Rasmussen winning his first IndyCar race. I just adore him, and I love everyone at Ed Carpenter Racing so much. I was like fully crying, and I was like, why am I actually crying right now over this? So Ed, during the 500, when they were doing like their media, like they do like row by row, Ed had said something about Christian, and it had gotten like a little bit under my skin. And as it turns out, I guess it got under Christian's skin too, because he had said like, I don't think that Christian is performing where we expected him to be. And I remember like sitting there, like my arms like crossed, and I was like looking around at everyone to see like their reactions, like what they thought about him saying that. And I'm like trying like not to show it on my face, because we're not really supposed to react to anything, but I'm like, it's like, I don't know about that. And after that, he just started really like performing. And so I was like, I think he might have heard what Ed said in the media room. And so I don't know. It was really, really special to see, especially like, this is his first year doing ovals, like really. And I mean, obviously like in Indy Next and stuff like that, but like this was his first year in IndyCar, like doing that, and to have performed the way he did. And I thought it was spectacular. So I think that was probably like my favorite race moment, because it was a little bit unexpected, but like so awesome.
You know, a little rain cloud changed the entire race, and it gave us that Cinderella moment. It was that's why we love IndyCar though, right? Those moments of like this was the Alex Palou year, but that was like, this is why we watch IndyCar, for these moments, for these drivers to have this moment for their first win, right?
Exactly.
Incredible. Watching him do donuts, we were just like screaming. We're like, yeah.
It was pretty awesome. Yeah. It was very cool.
Do you have any hot takes from the 2025 season? So like my hot take that I will die on is that IndyCar should have closed the pits and threw a yellow when Rossi's car was on fire during the 500, which would have prevented Palou from the undercut. And I will die on this hill. And I talked to Marshall Pruitt about it multiple times on the internet about why they didn't throw the yellow. So that's like my hot take of the season. But do you have any where you're like, I will die on this hill?
I do have one, and it is a little bit controversial. I completely disagree with everyone getting fired from Penske. I completely disagree with that decision. I can understand where Roger, I can't call him Roger, Mr. Penske.
Captain, whatever.
Yeah. I understand like there's like a publicity aspect to it. And I'm glad that I think it was Ron, he just got hired at Andretti for the team principal. I'm glad that, you know, there's still opportunities. And I think it was going to be Tim Cindric's last year anyway, is what he had said, I think. So it's like, it's okay. But I really think that the stinker of a year that they had could have been prevented if they had handled that situation better. Because I don't really feel like I feel like there's a mental aspect to what had just completely, erupted at Penske. And I feel like a lot of it came from that, because they had to relearn with new people unexpectedly. And they lost people that they trusted greatly over something that was somewhat minute. Like, it was just like a slight safety concern, like, it is not a huge deal. And so I thought, like, for me, like, that was sort of tough. I'm partial because I just really like Tim Cendrick a lot. I just really respect him. But I was like, this is, that just like left like a unpleasant taste in my mouth when it happened. And I still kind of like really feel that way. I'm a little bit protective over Team Penske. I'm a little bit protective over Joseph Newgarden as well. Especially like the way that media portrays him and stuff like that. I don't really know why. I don't have any ties. Like, I just like, I don't know. I feel like big people start calling names and I'm like, okay, I guess I have to become maternal now. I don't know. Like, it's just like something like wired in my brain. So that might be my only really big hot take. And I don't know that it's necessarily a hot take. I think other people probably think that as well, but I think it's maybe a little bit more of a controversial take.
I felt like it was the court of public opinion that drew the decision making at Penske, because people were so bored of Alex Palou winning. I think they were trying to people are like, we're going to go crazy against attenuator gate, whatever you want to call it. Right. But I get that. And we talked about it previously in previous episodes about like Joseph's mental state this season and how the media, like, he did not want to talk to the media. And I get it. I completely understand why. And, it's definitely wasn't easy. Like, imagine your entire leadership team at your work that you work at just being gone one day. Like, it's going to be chaos for forever, right? Until, those people that get promoted get working. So I don't think it's a hot take. I think I feel like Penske's the Patriots, right? You either love them or you hate them. And it's polarizing, right? Because it's like, you're either a Tom Brady fan, which is Joseph Newgarden, or you hate Tom Brady, right? So
Right.
I think you're going to get that everywhere, right?
It's a great analogy.
Yeah.
It really is.
Everybody hates the Yankees, right? That's the same concept. So
yeah. But I have to say, watching 400,000 people boo Tom Brady was kind of a out of body experience at the 500.
That did feel good.
And I would have been booing too.
Yeah.
We 100% were.
He
as well.
walked like right past me, and I literally like I didn't know why people were looking at first, and so out loud I turned toward my friend and I was like, who is that? Like, why are people? And then she was like, Marlee, it's Tom Brady. And I turned and I was like, oh my gosh. So I sorry.
Yeah, he's a little underwhelming in person, right? That's okay. That's okay. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
he's just won Super Bowls. That's fine. Whatever.
It's fine, right?
Yeah.
So we're in the middle of silly season. So I know we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about the remaining seats. So I'll throw it over to Milena to ask a few silly season questions.
Yeah, so we do have some open seats that are still remaining, right? JHR, Coin, Foyt. We heard RLL possibly as well. What do you think about who's going to be taking or who's going to be in those seats next year?
That's such a good question. I think I think Connor's seat's probably open at JHR. I don't know if he's going to be able to retain a sponsor to keep the seat. I feel like I would love to see like Kyle Collette in that seat. I would love to see him pulled up from Indy next. I would also love to see. I mean, I feel like I unexpectedly because Dennis is now at Dale, and the somewhat unexpected, outside of course Dennis going to Dale, partnership with Andretti. I would love to see like someone in that other Dale Coyne seat that's maybe like a little bit unexpected. I know Renus said no to it because I think he's probably going to take David's seat at Foyt, which makes sense. But I would love to see someone like unexpected. I can't even think of who, but someone unexpected in that Dale Coyne seat, and then like some
Gotta
sort
be
of
someone like with
collaboration there.
a little bit of experience, especially if you have Dennis who's new, that he's gonna need some sort of mentorship. So it's gotta have,
Who was the Formula E driver that won the championship with Andretti? I'm blanking on his name.
My goodness.
But like Felipe Dragovich is now going to be for Andretti Formula E. I could
That
see
goober.
I know, right?
He could have been Alex.
He could have.
He could.
That's crazy to think.
Goofy goober. Oh my goodness.
I'm blanking.
You know who I'd love to see? I know he's busy and I know he's not going to do it. And I'm saying this just for Salim. I'd love to see Pietro Fittipaldi at that Dale Coyne seat.
Listen, Dale doesn't discriminate. He loves, the come back to me, come back kind of drivers. But I think for us, the biggest shock was Rinus saying no to Dale. Like,
me too.
Foyt better be what you were looking for, right? Because Coyne has such positive momentum going into next year compared to previous years. But you also have Miles Rowe in Indy Next, who is a Penske assigned driver, right? So Miles might cook maybe a season, max maybe 2 if he doesn't win the championship next year. But we're like, Penske's going to want to keep that Foyt seat open for that Malukas-like talent, pipeline. Yeah. So is Rinus okay with like a one year deal again and just keep hopping for the next best thing?
I think so, because I think that he knows that Joseph might retire soon. And I think that in Rinus's mind, if he goes to Foyt, Joseph leaves because him and Ashley are having another baby, then boom, he can be moved to Penske, because Lord knows they're not going to give Santino for that Penske seat.
No, they won't.
I think that short man is stuck at AJ Foyt until he just decides to leave. Like, I don't think that Larry will get rid of him, but it's like,
no, unless the money dries up or he decides to leave. I think Santino is gonna live and die in Texas.
Yeah, 100%. Him and his little fiery attitude that he has.
What stinks about him is that he is unfortunately really, really funny. And it makes me mad. Like, I'm like, I don't particularly enjoy you as a person. In fact, I'll say it right here. I don't like you very much. Well, okay.
You're amongst friends here. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like you very much. But unfortunately, he has made me laugh multiple times. And I'm like, you don't get to be funny.
No.
As I'm looking down, you don't get to be funny.
Listen, that in itself is hilarious. You should just been laughing, been like, they're there. Oh man. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I would love to see Kaio at JHR.
I really would.
I think he would do well there, just from having his, Brazilian roots in that team, and the rumor that we might be racing at Interlagos, potentially at IndyCar in 2027. I have this feeling that something's brewing there, right? So that would be cool. And I do wonder if Devlin will come back at RLL, or if they will eat him with his claws. But who knows? That's what we love about silly season.
That's such a good point. I forget about him.
He's also a little man that people like. So
he's just kind of there,
right over him. So I really do. I've totally forgot about him. Wow, he didn't have a very lasting impression. Yeah, I was like,
getting into fights with Scotty Mack. That was his claim to fame this season.
That was his claim to fame last year. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just like, I'm gonna punch you. Like, Scotty's like, I can kill you. Like, it's fine. Like,
wait, who are you again? Like,
Scotty's like,
who are you again?
Yeah, Scotty could literally fight handicaps. Like, they could be like, okay, you only get like one fist. Dev gets all arms, all legs, go. Scotty is still winning. Like, it's like, that's not even a fair comparison.
For sure. They can give Devlin like a 30-minute head start and Scotty would still win. Like, it would be like, it's basically like a child who gets mad at their parent, like punching them in their stomach, being like, "Wah," and Scotty's just like,
it's like, whatever.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, right. That's what you got, sir. Like,
yeah.
Put you in timeout, my guy. Oh my gosh. So speaking of 2026, it seems like the off season is so long, but are you planning on attending any races in 2026? And also, what are going to be your predictions for 500 or championship for next year?
Okay. The number one race I know I want to go to is Phoenix. I have no idea how it's going to work. I don't care, but I have to be there. There's something you're going to give me IndyCar and NASCAR, and you're going to give me a night race. I am sat. My tush in that seat. I'll be there. I don't have a plan. I don't have anything, but I know it's already in my calendar. Like, I wrote it down physically because I was like, I'll be there. I'm going. So that one for sure. I hope to go to a lot of the stuff in Indy since I live here. I don't really feel like, I mean, Mid-Ohio as well, because it's so close. But I'm not really feeling like a draw to like anything else really, because the reason I love Nashville so much is because it's usually the closer. And I feel so like strange that it's not in Nashville. Like, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'm trying to go to Tootsie's and Aldean's. Like, what do you mean we're not going to be like mid-season? Like, I guess it's towards the end. It just feels like weird. But I don't know. Maybe Laguna would be cool at that closer. I have always wanted to see the corkscrew in person. So that might be my excuse since it's the last race. But I don't know. What are y'all going to? Because maybe
Phoenix is
I'll see
definitely
y'all
on
there.
my list. Yeah.
Oh wait,
I want to go back. I want to go back home so I can see my family. But I'm also like, oh my God, like where my family lives in Phoenix is like an hour and 40 minutes from Goodyear. And I'm like, I'm still gonna go. It's fine, whatever. But that's definitely been on my list of like, I really want to go. And also it would be my first NASCAR race too. So I'm like, I can't say no to that. But we always go to Road America. That's like our, like every year, let's go to Road America.
Right. We're like, we're already like trying to get one of the cabins that are like on the property.
That's cool.
Yeah. But it's like impossible to get those cabins. They feel like it's like a lottery system, right? Of like how you get it. So it's very, very difficult. But
we're on a list. We're going to wait like 6 years. It's fine, whatever.
Yeah. It is what it is.
And then we always do Milwaukee just because it's super close. It's like an hour drive. So we'll do Milwaukee. And then I don't know. We'll see what else we want to do.
I really want to go to Arlington.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, me too.
I think that would be very cool to see. My brother lives in Dallas, so I'm like kind of have like, I could just crash with you. And that's fine.
All my family, I'm from Houston, so I was like, I feel like going to Dallas kind of feels like a betrayal a little bit because we just don't like each other. But I've been supporting their women's basketball team, so maybe like they'll let me in. I don't know. But I'm
it's not like you're not going to go to a Cowboys game or like a Rangers game. So I think you're safe.
But I'll be by the stadium. I feel like everyone in Houston will be like, you touched the stadium. Like, you
just say you gave them more karma to suck than they already did. Just be like, I am the reason why the Cowboys suck even more. The Bears beat them. I'm just saying they suck. So
that's very true.
And we suck. So at least you can say, hey, the Cowboys, I'm here to spread some bad juju.
That's true. My first NFL game was actually I went to a Green Bay game before a Bears game. I know.
That's crazy.
I know, right? So it is like you curse, you leave a little scuff mark on your way out, and like that. So yeah, exactly.
Don't even get me started about being a miserable Bears fan. I'll cry.
Right. Well, like I said, at least they have at least one win under their.
At least they won't go 0-16. I'm so happy.
Right. I know. And I'm not sure if you are familiar with any of the Chicagoland area, but one of the popular hot dog places in Chicago, if the Bears scored 4 touchdowns, which they did, they gave away free hot dogs on one day. It's called the Wiener Circle. It's a lovely establishment. But it was pretty, like, it was a huge celebration this week in Chicago. So
we have nothing else to live for because they never win. So we're like, yeah, hot dogs.
Right.
My brother picked to be a Bears fan when he was like 8. And my mom and my dad and my brother used to go to Chicago sometimes just to take him to like the Bears games. And I remember every single year, this went on for 6, 7, 8 years. They'd be like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" My brother would be like,
"Lifetime of disappointment.
I like the Bears," and he continued to like them up until he looks. This is going to sound insane. He looks just like Justin Herbert in a way that's like uncanny. It's like a little bit freaky. And like we were watching like I think like college football one day, and I was like, I was like, Ames is playing football right now. And my dad was like, huh? And then like he was not with me. He like ended up sending me like a picture of his screen, and he was like, this guy. And I was like, yeah, he looks like exactly like Ames in a way that is freaky. And so we followed him to the Chargers. We were like, that's my brother. Like, that's my kin. It's crazy. Yeah, so now Ames likes the Chargers too because he's like, that's me. Up until that day, he swore by the Bears for
interesting
20 years.
I mean, we have cool merch and we've got a cool franchise and we have, you know what I mean? So I think that's cool. But other than that,
when we're miserable, we're miserable together.
Yes, it's a bonding experience, really.
Yeah.
So you talked about some like in-person interactions with some IndyCar drivers. Is there anyone specific that was your favorite that you had a great? I saw one on your Instagram that I'm like, I know what my favorite interaction for you was, but I want to hear yours first.
So Paige over at ECR did let me come in and film some stuff with Christian, who is just like the loveliest, nicest person I have just like ever met. He was willing to do genuinely anything. Paige was like, he'll do anything but dance. I've tried. And I thought that was so funny. And I was like, no worries. We won't be dancing today. But he was just so genuine and like so kind and like willing to do whatever. And they had given me like, this is like the thing that like made like such a huge impression on me. And like, I love that man down. Like I will be a Christian Rasmussen fan till the day I die because I had about like 15 minutes. I didn't end up needing like the whole 15 minutes just because I was like a little bit nervous. So I was sort of speeding through things. I didn't double check my work or anything. Like some of the stuff that I recorded was completely unusable just because I couldn't hear. And I was just like, I only have 15 minutes. Got done in like less than 10. And outside, like kind of like the garage area that we were in was a little boy with like a microphone and his mom holding like a video camera. And I like had looked at Christian and I like looked at the kid and I was like, hey, like, I don't need the rest of this time. Like I was given 15 minutes. Like I'm going to probably just edit these and like dip. Like, I don't want to, use any time that I don't need. Like, I want to respect you, whatever. He was like, yeah, no problem. Went and said something to one of his mechanics and then immediately went out and like let that little boy ask him like how many ever questions he had. And it was so sweet, like so precious. And he was like so genuine, like with this, like I think the boy was probably like 11. Like it was like a little kid with like his news microphone being like, hi Christian, so we're here at the road course, the Indy road course. And like you could tell that this was like that kid wants to be a sports reporter one day. He wants to be like Georgia out in the pits, and it was just like, it was so freaking cute. And he didn't have to do that, but he had the time and I obviously wasn't using it. And so to just like immediately turn and like give this kid that time. And there were people like lining up, because they'd seen him and like waiting to get his autograph. And he had like told them like, give me a second to like give the kid like the time. And I was just like, I freaking love you.
Absolute melting.
My goodness.
That's amazing.
that's why he's incredible, right?
He is incredible. I saw the pictures with you, and like you were holding up the Splenda packets, like a fish picture, like when men catch fish that I thought that was hysterical. That's absolute chef's kiss. So
Thank you so much. I was like, I wanted to make sure that I did something that was like relevant to him, but still funny. And so that's why I did that. Cause I was like, it highlights one of his sponsors, but it's also so dumb.
it's hilarious.
Like, and I walked up to him. The first thing I said to him was, have you ever seen the TikToks where people hold things like fish? And he went, what? I was like, great. So we're going to do it right now. And then I reached into my grubby, like, pocket of my slacks, and I pulled out like crumpled Splenda packets like from my pocket. I said, this one is yours. And he was just like, sure.
Okay.
Sure, whatever.
And he was like, sure, let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he bought into it, that's awesome. Oh, that's so funny.
Well,
so
I want to
good.
be cognizant of time because I know that you have a hard stop. So we will go over to our hot laps Q&A section. So these are going to be like rapid fire. First thing that comes into your mind, like, let's go for it. We'll start off easy so that you can get warmed up. And then we have a few that we'll ask as well. So I'll throw it over to Milena to start with the first question.
Okay. So what are the top 3 must-haves that you have in your bag for a race weekend?
Sunscreen, extra hair tie, and chapstick.
Stunning. If you could become an IndyCar merch designer, what would be the first item of merch that you would make?
I bring a koozie, like purse koozies, every single place that I go. And the AO ones that are like, it's the spike. It has like a tail and everything. I think one of the first things that I would make is like, kind of like, like a White Claw clan. Like, I want to introduce more girly, like feminine merch via a fun koozie made for like White Claws or Trulies or something like that. Because too many of these big boy cans, like, I'm like, this koozie is so huge and my drink looks so silly in it. I need a cute koozie. And also some of the koozies are just so ugly. And I'm like, no, we need cute koozies. So that would be my introduction to like good merch for women.
Love it.
I
don't need to put a Miller Lite can in here. I want to put a High Noon or a White Claw.
Yes, 100%. Okay, this is probably my all-time favorite question, like that we've discussed. Okay, bang, smash, or dash?
Okay,
a 30-year-old Mario Andretti, Michael or Marco? And Marco. So who would you bang, smash, dash out of those 3?
Repeat my options.
30-year-old Mario Andretti, Michael Andretti, and Marco Andretti.
So immediately 30-year-old Mario Andretti is my favorite option. Immediately, I think I am marrying 30-year-old Mario.
So he's a smash.
I think it's smash dash.
So bang, I tried to do this clean, obviously.
Yeah.
So bang would be like the F.
Okay.
Smash would be marry, and then dash would be.
Okay.
So you would smash 30-year-old Mario.
Yeah, and I'm gonna bang Michael, and I'm gonna dash Marco.
There's just something about a 30-year-old Mario Andretti. I'm just saying.
Right, you can't. Right, I agree. I totally agree.
And hey, Michael got a little something going on. Like,
he does. Poor Marco. I mean, yeah,
he's just kind of there.
Yeah, he's just kind of there. Exactly.
I have to tell you all something so funny, and I don't know if you want to do this. Michael Andretti is fully on my Hear Me Out list. Like, the second that you said that, I was like, what?
Listen, if you ever do a Hear Me Out cake, please, I want to be tagged when you put Mario Andretti on the cake and just walk away and just see what happens.
No, yeah. Michael,
sorry. Listen, I get it. Hey. We don't discriminate here.
No, we don't.
No.
Yeah, we don't hold anything back either.
Okay. So if you could cast any 2 IndyCar drivers as Roxy Hart and Velma Kelly from the musical Chicago, who would it be and why?
Okay, I think I'm going to cast Man, I gotta give one to Joseph because I feel like he will actually do it. I am somewhat scarred and haunted by that one video of him doing improv. Like it does haunt me sometimes, but also he's gonna commit. I think I'm gonna give him Roxy.
Okay.
And you know what? I'll give him his new teammate, David, as Velma, just because again, David is someone who I genuinely think that he would put his whole heart and soul into that. And what a good bonding experience for them too.
Come on. That would be an incredible, it's an enemies to friends Chicago, musical, like, veteran versus newbie. It would be, I'd go see it. Come on.
I'd be front row.
Yeah. Be right there. Just, I love it. I love it.
Awesome. Okay. So I know in January you made kind of like a New Year's resolution that you're not going to buy any merch. Have you stuck to that resolution?
No.
No.
Okay, so what are the items that you broke your resolution?
No, to be completely fair, the first thing that I went to in January was the Daytona 24 Hours, and it was so cold. We didn't have a hotel because of this whole issue with the hotel that we had. We had to cancel our stay, and we slept in the stands, and it was like freezing. So I bought and I wore, I think, 2 sweatshirts, as well as what else did I buy? I think maybe a scarf or something like that. Like it was just truly that, or maybe a blanket. It was truly so cold that we were just like, there's nothing for it. I guess we have to. And
right.
then,
I mean, but that doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Yeah.
The elements were against you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not going to count that one.
The only other things that I have bought are pins. I buy pins like everywhere I go. And I also did buy the Rexy koozie. I did purchase that very recently, as in last weekend.
Awesome. That's so that like I said,
Nothing else.
We're a sucker for merch.
Yeah,
like what I mean? Every place that we go, we try and buy something. So, but I know you also kind of, you make things as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are your favorite items that you have made this season?
Okay, this is from last season.
It's okay.
I was gonna say,
that you've made.
One is sitting right by me. I just think it's so pretty. It's my Catherine hat.
That's cute.
From yes, it's just like, it was the first one that I made. And I just think it's so pretty. I don't know where it is, but I also made a t-shirt and it's like not finished, but I did like where you like cut out from scraps of fabric, and then I made like an IndyCar one, which I thought was really sweet. I want to do that with a sweatshirt, I think, because I think it'll look cuter than the t-shirt. So I might like thrift like a sweater and do that. But I haven't made too much stuff this time around. Mostly just because,
you've been busy.
I've been trying to get to everything, and so it's like, and then I don't know. Sometimes I feel bad. Like I'm like, well, I can't make something for like this event and not something for like IMSA or like anything else that I'm going to. Oh, I did buy hats.
But
it was a necessity. It was a necessity.
Yeah, that's a necessity. 100%.
Prevents sunburn from your face. Come on.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, I bought a sweatshirt. I was like, I didn't make anything.
I didn't mean to shame you. Like,
no, you're helping the drivers, the teams, and the economy. Okay, that's
exactly.
Yes,
you are.
Yes,
you are.
Yeah, that's definitely. They needed me. They needed me to buy the children's baby blue IMSA hat, and also butt cushion and a sweatshirt.
Yeah,
those are all necessities.
Yeah, definitely necessities.
This is our last one. So Malena and I are compiling a Now This Is What You Call Music IndyCar edition playlist. So if you could pick one driver from the 2025 grid and pick a song, any song that best fits their vibe to put on the playlist, what would it be?
Yes, that is an awesome question. I would pick Kiffin, and I give him Island in the Sun by Weezer.
Nice.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
Good. All right, we'll add that to the playlist.
Awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Well, Marlee, this has been awesome. I thank you so much for joining us. Do you want to go ahead and let everyone know what your socials and things like that, how to get a hold of you, how to read up on your blogs and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me as well. This has been like so much fun. But my username is Motorsport Marlee on everything other than my blog, which is Moving with Motorsports, because I moved here. And I thought that'd be cute. But that's pretty much all the stuff that I post on. I love it. And I'm just so happy that I was here. This was a lot of fun.
This was awesome. This was so much fun.
This was great. You are a delight. Thank you so much for joining us.
I know. Thank you for yapping with us and chit-chatting and all of that. And thank you everyone for listening. We appreciate it. If you want to follow Lap It Like It's Hot or Marlee, we'll link her socials in the descriptions on our YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. And we're also on social on BlueSky, TikTok, and Instagram at Lap It Like It's Hot. And we'll see you guys next time. And once again, thank you so much for being on here, Marlee. See you, everyone.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.